So I'm on a mission to help humanity with willpower. I want to figure out for people. Hey guys, welcome to my Meditative Tuesday. So I actually create some of these practices as my way of meditation. I'm actually looking forward to these now because just the gratitude that I don't have to be worried in this moment. Like I'm doing these. I'm flattening these card boxes, and that's the only thing that I'm doing. I do it every single night on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday night, and I'm outside, and it's usually pretty chilly. And I usually listen to a podcast. I mean, tonight I'm talking to you, but still pretty chill. And helps me decompress after the weekend, after a long day. So, as you know, I'm on a journey of figuring out the willpower for the humanity. I want to help everyone on this planet to be better at willpower. I know that there's the anterior mid cingulate. Okay, so I'm on a mission to help humanity with willpower. I want to figure out for people. And I know that there is the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. And that's an area in your brain that's responsible for willpower. And the question is, what do we need willpower for? Well, we need willpower to make any kind of things in life that we are not doing as a habit, that they are not subconscious. Once we learn to drive a car, we don't really need willpower to drive a car. But for example, when we want to learn a new instrument, when we want to learn new skill, and we want to be better in something specific in life, that are the times when we do need willpower. And that's when it's important to have that area in your brain that helps you with making those changes, learning certain skills. The good news is you can actually listen to entire episode on willpower and how it works on Spotify and Apple Podcast at Huberman Lab. So Andrew Huberman actually talks about that. He's a professor of neuroscience at Stanford, and he talks about the biology a little bit more specific. But my goal is to actually take his teachings. Well, basically, he just sums up the science. Most of the research is not on his own, but what he does is that he looks up the science on sites like PubMed, and then he summarizes the research. Well, the thing that he did say is that there is actually almost like pretty much everyone in the field agrees on the fact that there is one specific area for willpower, and that area can be grown, and that is really exciting. Wouldn't you want to have increased willpower? I mean, I do. So before you actually get to that level, Sorry, I don't know if you can hear, but my kids are crying in the background. The windows are open. It's quite loud. But anyway, here's the thing that majority of you don't even need to worry about exercising willpower, because you're most likely engaging in these 3 activities, or you're getting them wrong, that actually don't even allow you to get on that start of the training. So just say that it's as a building, and it's a studio where we can train the willpower, but most of you actually never make it to that training studio. And the reason why you never make it is because you're doing these 3 things that actually stop you from making it to the studio. So number 3 in terms of importance is food. As you know, probably, I'm a big fan of optimizing your glucose levels in your food. So as you see, this is a glucose monitor that actually helps you see glucose real time. And this is an excellent book to start with. This is The Glucose Goddess Method. Actually, The Glucose Revolution is probably the best book to start. Highly recommend to read that book. I'm actually going to get certified as an official coach, because I can't stop thinking about how I used to be eating, and I was surprised that I was tired, and I didn't feel like doing anything. So back in the day, and when I was still living in Prague, there is this post-communist hotel called Grand Hotel Evropa, like Grand Hotel Europe, and it's about like, I think in the middle of Wenceslav Square, the main square in Prague, and we would actually go there for this lunch special, and the lunch special actually included a shot of alcohol to start with. Then there was soup. Then there was the main meal. Then we would have a beer, just like a big beer with that, and then we would also have a dessert. And the amount of calories and just the amount of like carbs I consumed in that one meal was insane. I mean, the structure of it wasn't terrible in terms of like how they structure the meals, but oh god, like I can't believe how I was able to function. Like, we were doing this most of the days, and anyway, it's just funny to think about how I was eating back in the day. So I am constantly evolving the way I eat. However, being able to keep your glucose levels in a stable look. This is my graph from today. This is how I kept it. It's not great, but it's pretty good, pretty stable. You see no spikes above the range, no dips down there, no dips. So that means that I had a really stable glucose levels throughout the day, and that actually allows me to get to that willpower training studio, if you want to make that metaphor, and because I'm not terribly tired from the food, and I am actually I have balanced energy levels throughout the day. So number 2 reason why most of you don't even make it to the training studio is alcohol. Look, I used to drink the majority of my life, so no judgment here. I am thankful to alcohol for many things, and I also had a lot of fun. I met a lot of new people, including my wife, and it's all great. But I'm 38 right now, and I actually now know, based on the data from all the devices. So I do have an Apple Watch, I have a Whoop, and I have an Oura Ring, and I also have a smart mattress called 8 Sleep. And it's crazy how one beer can actually impact your sleep. And also, have you ever woke up hungover and felt like you're going to advance in life, like you're going to really take it to another level when it comes to optimizing your life? Probably not, huh? You get up hungover, the last thing you feel like doing is optimizing anything, and all you do is you just want the day go by, so you actually wait for the next day. And considering the fact that you might go out drinking, let's just say twice a week, just imagine how many days you actually lose making zero progress. So while you are making zero progress, there are people who are not drinking, who get up fully energized, the people who actually are quite conscious about their lives. They're intentional with every single action, and you're hungover in your bed. And you know what's the sad and best part is that you probably think that you need alcohol because all your friends are drinking, your parents are drinking, their parents are drinking. So you probably feel like it's a necessary part of your life. Well, here's the thing. I have, I think I can say that I have a lot of friends. And, oh, great, we're done. Almost. And just because I stopped drinking doesn't really mean that I would lose any friends. The hardest was when I met up with a friend who, majority of my life, majority of the time that I knew him, we would just drink, and we would drink a lot, and it was fun. We would also play some squash, but then we would go drink at lunch, at dinner. So it was kind of hard for me because that was the only relationship which was solely based on alcohol consumption. So I didn't know what's going to happen, but it was great. Instead of us going and drinking, we actually went on a day trip to the Austrian Alps or German Alps, and it was amazing. He respects that I don't drink. I think that he takes something from it. And yes, there were friends who couldn't get over it, and they would try every single angle for me to actually change my mind and have a drink with them. And it took them about 2 hours, and after 2 hours, when I obviously wasn't changing my mind, they gave up, and then they tried to slip some vodka in my soda water, but I did see that, so I spit it out. And then they get used to the fact that I don't drink, and we still have fun, and we can still go out. They drink, I don't, and most of the times they don't get that crazy. If they would, and I'm just like around midnight, or still some reasonable time, I go home, I sleep, and I wake up the next day. Didn't get as much sleep as I would, since I would go out with them anyway. But because of the lack of alcohol, like, you can actually have a regular work day the next day instead of just waiting for the day to be over. So that was number 2. Number 1 is sleep. Sleep is by far the most important. And some people actually ask me why. Some people think that just because I get up at 4:15, I don't sleep enough. But you know what? It's 7:30, and in less than an hour, I'm gonna be in bed because I go to bed at 8:30, and I get up at 4:15, which gives me roughly 8 hours of sleep, and or 7.5, let's say. And 7.5 hours of sleep is amazing. And if you optimize if you actually optimize your nutrition, and if you invest in your mental health, and if you have a decent work-life balance, you actually can function on 7.5 hours of sleep. Since I'm getting to bed at every single day at the same time, your body actually gets used to it, and you get up and you don't feel like you need any more sleep. So I actually believe that sleep is extremely important, despite the fact that I get up early. And we also run these events. Now in the US, we rebranded to Mind Zero Go. They start a little later. In Prague, we're still going to go do one called 4am Mindset Warriors. And there is a reason for that. The reason why it starts that early is because it is difficult to get up that early, and it does train your willpower because you're doing something very hard. For majority of people, like, getting up that early is the biggest challenge, and you do it for yourself. You actually grow that area in your brain, the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, and that helps you after that event. After you go, after you have to be there at 4 a.m., after you meet new people and mingle with them and socialize with them, after you go through a pretty challenging workout, which is scaled to every fitness level, and after you go through a cold plunge, all those things do help you with train. Those are all the things that actually train that area in your brain that is responsible for willpower. So that early element doesn't mean that I wouldn't appreciate sleep, or I wouldn't think that sleep is important. I think sleep is extremely important. However, what's also important is that you exercise your willpower area in your brain, or you want to call it, and that's why we specifically designed the event like that. And I'll be sharing more tips and tools on how to improve your willpower. I'm fascinated by it. And also, one thing that you should know about me, I spent 10 years and I work with tens of coaches. Overall, probably more than 30 coaches. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I attended some crazy programs to figure out my own willpower. And I believe I now get it. I believe now I'm at a level where when I set my mind to something, I can actually get there. And I can help other people get there as well. I'm not saying that I'm always successful, because I set pretty challenging goals for myself, and that means that sometimes I do not succeed and I fail. But the thing is that I continue to show up, and when you continue to show up every single day, you will eventually get it right. I can guarantee you that. So if you want to get better in willpower, if you want to train the anterior midcongloid cortex that's responsible for willpower, follow me for more content. I'll be launching a program that I want to be the most effective willpower enhancing program in the world, and I will keep improving it up until I'll be able to help millions of people around the world. The program will be online, but also launched at our Mind Zero studios. But because we don't have the other studios covered, we don't have the whole world covered with the Mind Zero studios. Well, that's coming. But before we get there, you'll actually be able to join it online as well. So thank you for being part of my Tuesday night flattening these cardboards session. It was an honor to be here with you, and I'll see you in the cold plunge or in the sauna.